Check your email.
Right.
Already did it.
Oh, okay. I think it's a bit
So
loud
let's start.
so that I can hear you. So,
You can't?
pardon?
You can hear me, okay.
I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you as well. Let's start.
Okay. It's perfect. So, how is your mood?
It's great. I'm ready to work.
Okay. So my proposal is that we go through that topics that you have had most difficulties with. First, I want to share my screen. Maybe this one. And we have this new file with Mama, where you probably have seen the statistics. And we go to the worksheet number 4, or
I can't see your screen.
Pardon?
I can't see your screen.
Ah, you can't see it.
Yes.
Let's see what could be the problems. There is here. Okay. Can you see it now?
No.
Still not. Wait. Time.
Yourself.
And this one.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's very strange. It tells that it shares to everybody, but it actually.
Can you see mine?
Yes, I see your screen.
You see yourself? This is how I see you.
Yes, you see what the camera is currently showing. Okay, I try it.
But you're not moving. Or now you're moving again.
Yes, I try to share the whole screen.
Yes, I see it.
Oh, now it works.
Yes, now it works.
Great. So it is quite small one, but you can see. Okay, here now you see my both screens. And you probably also see the worksheet that is open currently, right?
Yes.
So,
I see everything.
say it again.
I see everything.
Okay, so let's see where you have problems here. First, there was something with preconditions. It is strange that I have not set here any value.
Teacher, maybe we can just go through my last web quest and together answer the question,
Yes,
which is very hard for me.
so an option, although I wanted to do it in a regular lesson when we will go through those topics.
Maybe now you can tell me which topics I can do, which questions I can answer to improve my mark, to improve my grade.
Yeah, we can also go through because I have not listed it as an excluded topic. It will remain in, so I just have to replace this by note because somehow I didn't do it. Okay.
Why it's not?
I have seen that Joseph the Jungle has written something useful on this topic already, so it will not be excluded. So this is the first topic in preconditions, and you can also open your last web quest. And next time you write the name for your web quest, please don't use those brackets.
Okay.
The brackets are just there to be replaced with a content.
Okay.
So
let's go through. First question is correct.
Actually, we can't really go through because the same topic is for Joseph the Jungle, who has the deadline today.
And what?
Pardon?
And what? Why we can go through that?
We can go starting by Monday because he's doing something, and if we go.
But it's not a regular class. We have extra lesson, so we can cover with you any topic.
Yes, but
which is useful for me.
Whether you are going to tell him something.
Of course I will, because I'm friendly.
Okay. So here was the second question. Then there was a problem. So after you had identified successfully the inputs and the only output, then the next question was on preconditions. Can you explain to me how do you get what is a precondition?
As I have written, there are things that must be true before a method is called.
Yes, preconditions are connected to the input. So
okay.
You have two inputs here. One is the list of marks, and another one is the number, the maximum number of marks. So these two inputs. And your subtask was to identify preconditions on this.
I think I have written them because I wrote that in my case, what will happen if something has a mark -5 or even 0? If 0 is okay, but -5, it's my precondition. No one can have this mark.
Okay, actually -5 is acceptable or can be acceptable. There is no reasonable restriction why it should not be.
It cannot be acceptable. You can't grade someone lower than not.
It is possible. You can give minus points for some badly done tasks.
How you can do that? If you already have 0, you can't make it smaller.
You can even give -10 or -100.
But in our IB program, we can't do that.
This task is not about IB program.
But this is generally somewhere you can, somewhere you not.
Yes.
So here I wrote that it's 90% that you can't.
So
So it's not a mistake.
I also like to only give positive points, uh, but sometimes they give penalties. Uh, every mistake is a penalty worth or something like that. And then those penalties can be marked as negative numbers. So, and it can be also note.
Okay, not, I agree that it can be, but -5, not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the questions we're working
But
out.
here is your question, will the operation still work? So I see no reason why it wouldn't work if you have a negative number there, because you can still calculate the median, you can still calculate the relation. But there is no, uh, how do you say, her, bur, burden or hurdle, burden. There is no burden for that. Um, so, just some seconds, I open the door of the dishwasher. Dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back now here.
Okay, tell me what is correct answer for me. What should I write in precondition?
Okay, then further on you write, we are working out the interest as a percentage and it's dividing by 100, but what if the value entered is already a
This is
percentage?
the second precondition.
Um, what value do you mean exactly? This was also my comment here.
I mean, the grade can be the percentage.
There's a difference between mark and grade.
What's the difference?
The difference is, so you have several tasks. Like there was a table, I scroll down, um, maybe not. I think that you have not copied it here. Yes, you don't have it. I show it in another browser.
Can you close your terminal and make this page like fully seen for me?
Um, I have two screens. Terminal is in my laptop, and the web browsers where I'm moving my mouse currently. Uh, it's also a laptop, but it's on my glass.
Okay, can you close
I
your...
mean, I can also switch so that I only use one screen. Let's see how that works out.
Okay, if it's hard...
So I switch this off, and now I only have this one.
Yes, now I see it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now there is only one screen. Okay. I Google Chrome. No Google Sites. And it was a computational thinking. And your version was number one. Here. Here is the table. So there are four different topics, and for every topic, you see the maximum number of marks can be different. For instance, for the network fundamentals, the maximum is 10. For data transmission, the maximum is 6. So this is not the grade. The grade is something that for in IB system is from 1 to 7. But here is 10. So this is how many marks you can, or a pupil can get for solving the thing on this topic, this current topic. So the marks go from.
But you could also name it as grades. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3.
On a vertical axis. What are grades? They go from left to right.
Now I see it.
So for instance, for Greta, you can calculate the grade using the marks 2, 3, 1, and 5. So this is what gives, for instance, percentage or something like that. And then you can say whether the grade is 4, 5, or 7, or according to the assessment rules. So that's why they are different. Now, going back to your request, okay, you say that the mark is the value, and the mark can be a percentage already. So you mean that here, instead of 2, 9, and 2, there can be values how much Q is out of 10 in percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's true. But we can't know it because a percentage is also a number, and there is no rule that they must be integers. So they can also be floating point numbers. We just assume that these numbers are significant.
Okay, let's back to my test.
So we would end up with an incorrect value. And here are some examples. 5, 6, 5. And my question was, what is it? This is an example.
Yes, this is an example from my case.
Mm-hmm.
This is correct. Is it correct?
This is not a precondition. This is value.
But this is as example.
Precondition is a rule. And max count is a variable. It is also not a precondition. And then student names, these are not necessary at all, because you can calculate the median and relation without knowing whose marks they were.
Okay, what are my preconditions?
Okay, I state you a question. There is a maximum number of marks. I take this table. So maximum, for instance, network fundamentals. There is the maximum number of marks and 3 marks for that from 3 people. So what if Diana has not 9 but 11?
Okay. The mediana will change.
Yes, certainly that. But
so this is my preconditions.
You see, the maximum number of marks is 10. And Diana has 11 instead of 9.
Okay.
You can calculate the median, but what happens if you calculate the relation?
I already said that it will change.
How?
Because the mediana will different.
Yes. So it can happen that the relation is more than 1, which means more than 100%.
Okay.
What happens if the median will be 50? Then the relation is like 500%. It's like achieving the 5 years plan within 1 year or something like that.
So I need to consider exactly marks of every student.
Yes.
If I have more or less, I have a different mediana, and my answer is different. Because here you have 9, 2, and 2. and
Yes.
together is 100% each. But if I have more or less, I have another answer. Yes?
You should check every mark, and every mark must be less or equal than maximum number of marks. Because if it's more, then there is a danger that the relation can be more than 100%. So it shows that there is a mistake in marks, whether one mark is mistaken or the maximum number of marks is incorrect. So the input, so you should check that the input data.
Okay, but if it's less, then...
So if a mark is less than maximum number of marks, then it's okay.
Okay.
If it is larger, then it's not okay.
Okay, I see.
And the algorithm should result with an error message in this case. So can there be something more? For the first thing you need to do is sorting those marks, then calculating the median.
Okay.
And there was a division, but the division was always by 2, so there will not be division by now anyway.
Okay.
But still, there could be a problem. So what the possible values can maximum number of marks have?
Possible numbers. Maximum number of marks is 10.
What other possible values can be there?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
What value can maximum be?
7.
Yes, what else?
9.
What else?
10.
Now, if you generalize, how would you create a rule for maximum number of marks?
Starting, okay, 0, 0x until 10.
Can it be 0?
No, it can't.
Why?
Because 0 is nothing, and we need to
Yes.
have at least 1.
Yes, logically a topic cannot be worth nothing. Otherwise, it wouldn't make a sense to solve that task at all. And the other reason is that for calculating the relation, we need to divide by the maximum number of marks, and if it is not, we can't divide. Okay, these are...
Can you answer which parts of this algorithm can be concurrently? What is the answer for this concurrently?
So do you want to go through all the subtasks step by step, or we just jump to parallel processing now?
You can just answer very fast and then we go back.
Tell me the task number.
13. Concurrently. Which parts of this algorithm can be executed concurrently?
13. Okay.
Yes.
Looking at the same table here. So here is also described calculating a grade. What happened now? So calculating a grade takes at least 4 times less than as calculating a relation. So how many relations will be calculated with the input of this table that you see currently? How many relations?
I don't know. 3.
Why 3?
Because there are three people.
How do you calculate the relation?
Calculate a grade takes at least 4 times less time.
So here is the problem actually. we can't go to the step number 13 unless we have gone all the previous steps, because every further step assumes that you have solved correctly the previous step.
Okay, let's
Now
go
it's
back.
the problem that you don't know the algorithm, how to do that calculation. That's why I can't also explain the parallel processing here.
Okay,
So
let's
we
go
need to
back.
go back. So, okay. Okay, the preconditions part is clear now, I hope.
Yes.
And then there was the reasoning.
But wait, you showed me this table, but this table is exercise 13. But how could I know that I need to consider these facts?
No, you didn't have to consider. I showed this table now because based on this table I could explain for you which will be calculated vertically and which horizontally, because you told me the word grade, and grade is not the same as mark. So nowhere in the task was told how to calculate the grade, so it's irrelevant.
Okay.
Okay, number what is this? Preconditions stated in the previous step to match, because these preconditions are main raw data. I have no information and requirements to follow. Oh, I didn't understand. What do you mean? I have no information and requirements to follow.
It means that without these preconditions, I can make some mistakes in my future algorithm, and this is bad. But if I have these preconditions, I know that maximum number of marks should be 10, not more. And this is why I wrote I have no information and requirements. Requirements is this 10 marks is the maximum number.
Yeah, now as you explained I understand it.
So it's correct.
But if you write down, so please be clearer, because I really can't read the same thought out of this marked sentence here.
But it's logically, because these preconditions are main raw data. And without these preconditions, if I don't have this precondition, I have no information and requirements to follow. It's logical.
Yes, now as you explain it, it's logical. But initially reading it, it's very hard to get that information out of this sentence. Main raw data.
Okay, preconditions.
They're the rules for input. They're the rules how to handle the input data. And by the way, the maximum number of marks can be more than 10. It can be any number that is larger than null, a positive number. Because inside the task description there are no other limits. It should be possible to calculate the median and the relation, nothing else. And you don't have to invent some new rules here, because during the examination they won't be considered.
I did it for you.
So next one, preconditions is beneficial for making procedural abstraction work.
Let's move on with this. It doesn't matter. I see the main point.
Okay, so now preconditions are rules for the input.
But what was your answer to this question?
Number 3?
Yes. What is correct answer?
So what's the question? Why have the preconditions stated in the previous step to be met? So I would explain the preconditions as I explained it previously. So if a number of marks is less or equal than naught, then it would not make a sense to solve that particular task at all, and it's not possible to divide by note, as a relation must be calculated by using a division. And if a mark is larger than the maximum number of marks, then it can happen that the result is strange because nobody can achieve more than 100%.
So, firstly, no sense to solve it because if there are no marks, you mean zero, and no sense to solve it if there are more than 10 marks.
More than the maximum number of marks.
Yes, more than the maximum. This is your answer.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on.
Then in number 4, there was a question what actions were necessary before the teacher gets that input. And this subtask was written so that it could be understood in 2 ways. You and Martin understood it from the perspective of system design. What was meant actually was real actions by pupils and teachers before that marks became available. So before you have any marks, what must happen?
Teacher need to give these marks.
Yes, teacher needs to assess.
It's not our problem because we couldn't get the exercise correctly. You have written so that we understood it like this. Because I remember that we practiced this Gantt chart, and I did it as we did previously last year.
Yes, I commented this here, and I explained in the comment for many subtasks that they are related to the real actions.
So here I should write that firstly the teacher should give marks to students.
Yes.
What else?
Then what action must take place before a teacher can assess it? What must happen before?
They need to come to school, to the lesson.
Yeah, or maybe it's a home task or something like that. But what is it?
Do this task.
Yes, solving the exercises. And what must be happen before people can start solving the exercises?
They need to get these exercises.
Yes, get from where?
Teacher should give them.
Okay, in order to be able to give those exercises, what teacher must do?
Create it.
Yes, prepare those exercises. So these are the actions that are connected to each other. One cannot happen before the other one has ended.
Okay.
And actually, from the system design perspective, your Gantt diagram makes sense. Then, these advantages of Gantt.
I wrote it for myself because I think that it's not really flexible one table.
Okay. So, I want to remember.
Create a flexible table. Then you wrote, why don't you create a flexible table? And I mean, if I create this table, I want this table to be flexible. And if it's not flexible for me, I need to recreate it. And it takes my time.
Yes, the problem is that your table isn't flexible. Now I show you how you can create a Gantt diagram that's flexible.
No, let's do it after. I have questions about the next questions in my web quest.
Yeah, this is just a short show. I'm not going to comment it. But here is an example of a flexible Gantt diagram. You can just move them, copy paste, and so these parts will be calculated automatically. I have prepared 2 of them. This is one version. Maybe later I show the other one as well. And there is also special software for creating Gantt diagrams. Previously I used Gantt for Google Drive, but it turned out it has limited It has some limitations, like 14 days or something like that. So I don't like them.
Okay.
And next, number 5. You should have written down when a decision making should take place. So, um, before you can create the algorithm, you need to know whether there are some branching or places. You know what is branching.
Then yes.
So if or while or something like that. So you should identify when a branching starts. For what purpose?
When they get marks. No, when teacher creates his task or what?
Let's talk now from the perspective of algorithm writing.
Okay. Kindly write down when a decision making should take place. You meant when whose decision making? Your as teacher.
No, the
So what?
decision inside the algorithm. So here you have an old description. If we look at the um, real web quest, then here is written in your future algorithm. So this is the
So
real.
it's not my mistake again. Because
Uh,
I copied it and I didn't check what you have there. I took my version and put it to my file and didn't open your file again.
yes, initially it was my mistake that I corrected later.
But later it was too late.
Maybe. So
Okay,
when?
so please show me again your new question.
And
Kindly write down when a decision making should take place in your future algorithm. What do you mean by decision making? Whose decision making?
branching inside the code, for instance, in pseudocode or activity diagram.
Okay, show me my answer. Isn't correct? Get raw data. Before we need to have a decision, we need to firstly get raw data.
This is this is not a decision. You get raw data anyway. A decision requires a condition.
Okay, if there are students and then they get marks. If they get marks, then teacher puts them to his, I know, to his, to his journal, to his magazine, I don't know.
This is unrelated because you have all those marks already and you know the maximum number of marks. So what was here? Okay, you started by the 1, but there was something before that this part here is important. Most of the subtasks are related to this introduction here. The teacher gives you some example data, blah, 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 this paragraph here.
Okay, and what is important here? The
So
teacher gave you some example.
important is calculate the median and the relation.
Okay.
So
Okay.
regarding to calculating the median and the relation, where is the place where a branching takes place?
I don't know. Tell me.
I give you a hint, median, calculating median.
I need to calculate relation and then calculate the median before decision making.
No, they are totally different things. So here is the rule. First, you calculate the median, and then you calculate the relation.
Okay.
For calculating the median, what you must do?
Before calculating the median?
Not before calculating the median, but while calculating the median. How do you calculate the median?
I add all numbers together and divide it by 2.
No.
Then I take
This
this
is how
one.
you calculate the average. And this isn't even the rule for calculating average, because you don't divide by 2. You divide by the number of the items.
Yes, okay.
So what are the rules for calculating the median? What's the algorithm for calculating the median?
I add everything together and then divide it by the number for example, I have 3 numbers, 1, 2, and 3. I add them and then divide it by 3.
So you add them up, you get 6, and you divide by 3.
Yes.
But what if you have different numbers?
Okay, how to say, I know how to say that. My median is when I have, for example, 11 numbers, and this 11 I divide by 2. It doesn't matter which numbers I have. The number, for example, I have 1, 3, 3, and so on until, how is hard to explain. Teacher, I understand how to calculate median. Just believe me.
I can't believe you. I open Inkscape and
It's average. I can show you.
Did you read through the process part?
Yes, I have read everything.
Here is the link for.
No, I haven't read this part.
So,
Or I have. I don't remember.
Additional information in every web quest information. And it's open now. So here I can draw something like this. Okay, you have, this is next we draw. Okay, this one, oh, no. Too many. And there I can make it go there, and do this one. This. Okay, you have 1, you have 2, and you have 7. So what is the
2.
Okay, this is really 2.
Teacher, what? I know it from 9th grade.
What is now the median?
1 plus 2 divided by 2.
It's incorrect.
It is correct.
No.
Yes. We calculate, we have 3, 7, 1, 2, we have 1 and 2 in the middle. We need to add them together and divide them by 2. And it's equal 1.
So what you have here, actually, you have something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay, I know. I need to put, okay, 1, 2, then 3, and I need 2 plus 3 equal 5 divided by 2 is 2.
No, okay. It's also not correct. So
how it's not correct?
On the graph, you have those dots, which is 1, 2, 3, and 7. And initially, you told that it's between 1 and 2. So how can a median be so low? Something is so high up. It's not possible. So the first thing for calculating median is to sort the items. So that
No.
you get 1, 2, 3, and 7. And now you do what you wanted to do previously. You find two middle numbers, as this is an even number array, which
Yes,
are
this is what I said. The 2 plus 3.
yes, now it's 2.5.
But I already said it before you draw it.
So it's
I
something.
remember that smaller number should be first and then.
Mhm. So if you just have 1, 2, and 7, then the number of items is odd. So you just take the middle
Yes, I know. I
number.
know. Let's go.
And this is also written here. Here are the rules for calculating the mean and median and mode.
Okay, let's back to my web quest.
So the median was here. Okay. So and back to your web quest. No, we don't go back to your web quest because or actually what I have drawn here, the question was where is the decision making?
The median is our decision making. Or what?
Where is the branching?
Okay, let's go on.
What's the answer? So what
It's
I want you to list the steps of calculating median. What's the first step?
first step. We take all our numbers and we take the middle one.
No, this is not the first step. This is the first step. You see?
Yes, I know it.
Place all your numbers in increasing order or decreasing order.
Here I had 5, 6, 5, and I calculated it correctly. I wrote 5, 5, and 6, and it was 5.
So, what is the first step? What's the one right there?
Write it in correct order from lower to higher number.
This is called sorting. So, sort. What's next step?
Next step, calculate the middle
How
of
do I
them.
do that?
Teacher, it's easy, I know how to do it. Let's go to our topic.
This is what we are doing currently. It is not enough that you say me that you know how to do it, you can't explain it.
I can explain it, but it takes time.
Of course
Okay,
it
we make it from 1 to 7. Okay, then we take the middle number.
but an algorithm must be general. It must work for both this array here and this array, for 1237 and for 127. It must
We
work
need
for
to
both.
take the number we have, the number of marks divided by 2. If we
And,
have odd, then it's correct. If we have even, we need this numbers in the middle, add together and divide them by 2.
so this is
It's clear now?
exactly what is needed here. You said the word if, and if means branching. So here we have 4 elements, and down we have 3 elements. So
If we have even number of elements, then we need divide them by 2. If we have odd number, Else we just write the answer.
This is like 2, 1, if even, and 2, 2 is for odd. So this is the place where decision making takes place, because we need to decide whether it is even or odd. It cannot be both at the same time.
Okay.
So for all the rest, like for the step number 1, there is no decision making because we need to sort the array anyway. But here, we don't know whether we only have one number in the middle or 2 numbers in the middle. So we need to decide. This is when decision making takes place.
Okay. What's the next question?
The next one is number 6. Your subtask was to write down the list of possible decisions.
It was the same question as previous one.
And no, it's not the same. In the previous question, the previous subtask was to identify a situation when you need to decide something. And this time you need to precisely write down what the possible decisions are. So if we look at this diagram, I have not written down any decisions yet. I have written down 2 conditions. So
Okay, the decision if is when we have even, we need divided by 2. When we have odd, then we don't divide it. We just write we just find the median without any additional division.
yes, these are the 2 decisions. For
Okay,
even,
clear.
you find the 2 middle numbers and calculate the average for them. And for odd condition, the decision is taking the value of the middle item.
Okay. Number 7.
So number 7. Here you should have created a table with 2 columns, condition and decision.
You didn't give me marks for this.
Because I can't see a table with columns like condition and
But
position.
if you
And
just take that if you take into account that your question was asked incorrectly, then like the structure of my answer is correct, is the same. No?
it wasn't stated incorrectly. Let's see the task again. Number 7, this process. Number 1. And number 7. Every decision is triggered by a condition. This is self-explanation. Then please create a table with 2 columns where the first column is condition. You don't have that column. Do you agree?
Why I don't have the column? I have column.
Okay, let's see what you have here.
I have if and I have then.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, instead of columns, we can say you have rows.
Okay.
So, your conditions go from left to right, and decisions also go from left to right. Good. Further, you fill in that table with all the possible conditions and write the corresponding decision from the previous step for each condition. Doing this, I see that you learned blah blah blah. Previous step was number 6. List of possible decisions inside your future algorithm. Okay, here, if we take from system design perspective, what do you have? If I talk to the client, I can understand this idea. And there is no else part. Okay. If you don't talk to the client.
But you wrote, right, the first column is condition and second column is decision.
Yes.
Condition is if I talk to the client, then I can understand his idea. Here's no else part in your question. That's why I didn't write it.
That's correct. If I have raw data, then I can do what he was asking me to do. Okay. If I brainstorm with technical director about the requirements, then I can implement everything there up there. Yes, your table makes sense. However, it's not connected to that task.
Because I didn't get your questions. As you couldn't get my answers, I couldn't get your questions. So who is wrong? Oh. Why I have such mark?
Read my comments here. This whole table, this is from 14th of January. And 14th of January was the last day. It was the day that you were actually actively doing this.
But it's hard to change everything in the last minutes when I get previous questions incorrectly. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's go on to next question.
This number 8, that here you should have just provided the explanation for this table, which you have also done. And what is here? Likewise, if that's on condition values to false, different reasons. Okay.
It was correct?
Yes. So, number 9. Number 9 was the first place where you needed to start to write down the algorithm. So
let's go through this algorithm.
It was quite hard to. Can you see the connections now? For writing the algorithm, you need to identify inputs and outputs. So what the algorithm takes in, what the algorithm results. Then you need to identify the rules for the input, precondition. Then you need to identify the exceptions. Maybe later. That part can be done later. But then you also need to identify the situations where decisions must be made. Write down the appropriate conditions and decisions. And after you have that information, you can fill in the algorithm with other steps and you have the algorithm.
Okay, but let's go through my algorithm.
So, with pleasure. First step, creating an array for storing students' grades. So initially you had them as collection. What you write here more, get data on the maximum number of marks. So what you mean for the step number 1 is actually input. And not grades, but marks. Okay, you get the marks and the maximum number of marks. These are the input. Then number 2, saving the maximum number of marks to a variable.
So you said that first step is correct or not?
First step is correct. It's not fully correct because you don't have grades, you have marks.
Okay, because I didn't get it.
Okay.
But if I had marks there, it should be correct.
Correct as input, not the first step.
And then you ask me, how do you create this array? Okay, teacher, how should I create the array? Because I don't know this question. I know that I need to create and I just create it. Using int array, mark count array, that's it. What do you mean by how to create that array?
So you're talking about the step number 2. Saving the maximum number of marks to a variable. If you write down the algorithm as a pseudocode, then you can create a variable and assign a value to it. But as human sentences, you don't need to use the word variable. You just refer to different steps. So you don't have to save the maximum number of marks anywhere because it's the input. Then next, get data on the number of students. This is actually the same. So now steps number 1 and 2 is the same. It's the input. And it's not the step, it's the input. Then number 3 cannot be made before you turn the collection into an array. So the first step should be converting the array of marks, the collection of marks into an array.
But get data on the number of students grades and store them in an array, and then I bubble sort them.
So here, you can also write here, no, you can change the stop command. This is why these comments are here, that every time I add a comment, you change. So you can change the algorithm now. I don't want to write anything here, but you can do that. So the first step is converting the collection into array, the collection of marks.
I can do it now because I'm following your screen.
Okay. And there
was... Wait, you can repeat it. I will write it on the paper. What you just said.
So the first step was, so what you need for sorting, you can't sort the collection because it has no such mechanism, but you can sort an array. However, you have input as a collection. So you need to convert that collection into an array first.
But I didn't write that I need to sort the numbers. I wrote that I need to sort the array.
So you need to sort, because without sorting, you can't calculate the median.
What?
I mean that without sorting, you can't. Without sorting, you can't calculate the median, right?
Yes, I know. Then that's why I wrote number, store them in an array, and then I can sort an array to make it clear, starting from lowest to highest. That's what I wrote there.
So before you sort, you need to have an array.
But I have this array. I created this array and I put these numbers to this array.
You mean this way? You create.
I created it there. Then I put it in. Then I put these numbers to this array, and then I sort the array.
Did you read the subtask correctly? There is a word sub-procedure. So converting collection into an array is a sub-procedure. So this must be written separately, and then you refer to that procedure.
Okay.
The first step is converting a collection to an array. Then from that step, you should refer to another algorithm, which is how do you walk through that collection and create that array. This is also important.
Okay. I think it's time already.
Yes, it is. You want to end?
Yeah, we can. I can make changes and then you can see it later.
All right.
Okay.
Then you do the changes, and then we have some communication through comments, and then tomorrow we will have hopefully standard level lesson.